Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us here tonight on 20 Sides to Every Story. Tonight we are playing part one of probably 3 or 4 sessions of this campaign. This is going to serve as the epilogue to the Temple of Elemental Evil campaign that we've been running here on the channel for the past little over 2 years now. And so the Temple of Elemental Evil and the Greyhawk campaign setting have been the home of our community campaign for that length of time. So I think before I give kind of the setup to what we're doing here in terms of like the story, the broad strokes of it is that you four had participated in a pretty grueling campaign against Tharizdun and his elemental cults that he had pulled together down in the southern region of the world, from where our campaign here tonight is going to take place. And it's been several months since that campaign has expired, and you all have probably gone on to deal with personal business, or I don't know. I think this is the point where we're going to have you guys maybe introduce your characters, introduce yourself, introduce your characters, and maybe tell us just kind of the story of what's been going on with them these past, we'll call it like 4 months. We'll say 4 months has expired. And so we'll go left to right along the overlay here. I think, Chris, why don't we start with you?
All right. Hello, my name's Chris. I'm playing Lord Votary Donovan Lockwood. He is a paladin of St. Cuthbert, Oath of the Watchers. Against one of the Arco Elementals, probably the first month or so, he was kind of healing up from his bad burns that he received fighting Emics. And the next 3 months, he would have sent missives to Fowl's Keep that he kind of is in charge of, letting them know that he would be hanging out down here, helping rebuild Raster, probably assisting Thorwald with his keep or whatever that he is building out there with his protege Stevram. He pretty much had taken all the money that he had made. I think he'd given a big chunk to Magnus to assist with basically all the destruction of the water and everything else. But he has, for the most part, been getting his hands dirty, utilizing his basically being a laborer, helping people rebuild here and all of that. So that is, I would say, what has taken up most of his time over the last 4 months.
Awesome. Thanks. And next we'll head over. Gabe, why don't you tell us a bit about what's been going on with Thorwald?
Hi guys, I'm Gabe, and I'm playing Thorwald Arno. He's been fighting the cults, and is a barbarian paladin, if you believe it, and is being emotionally and physically stressed by all of the shenanigans that have happened. And I think when he went back to the keep he was building west of Verbobonk, he really appreciated other folks like Donovan and Stevram and others being there helping me out, because he probably enjoyed himself the first couple of weeks, like resting and recuperating and whatnot. But I think his ghosts have caught up with him, and he is become restless, right? He thinks that, that chapter of the threats might have been closed, but his harrowing experience in Verbobonk City fighting the undead unleashed by Use, and having met with Prince Thrommel, have left a lingering sense of foreboding in him. And so whenever, when Donovan came up with that letter he received, he jumped on it, even though Donovan was not 100% certain he wanted to bring Thorwald on board. I believe Thorwald was like, yeah, I'm doing this. I'm coming with you. No matter what, I can't stay here. I don't want to. So he's desperately trying to look for the next thing to do in order not to drown in his own sorrow.
Got it. Cool. Thanks, Gabe. Let's go over next to Jeff.
Hello, I'm Jeff, playing Rareth. Rareth is a ranger slash rogue, and he has been working on his house in the Hamlet area, as well as helping out around Rastor and Hamlet with the rebuilding process, going out and checking on the wildlife and the the land to make sure that everything's recovering from the water cult's attack. And I would say that Rareth, whenever he was approached by Donovan, had to be convinced a little bit, but once he heard Thorwald was going, I think that kind of swayed him, and he and Thorwald have partnered up quite a bit during this adventure, and he wasn't going to let his friend go without him.
Awesome. And then let's go next over to Percy.
Hi, I'm Percy. I'm playing Valnera Baldergranite, and she's a moon druid. 9th level dwarf. She's a good friend of Donovan, and when he called her to come and give him a hand, she was more than willing to give him a hand. Got to keep these people alive somehow, and she's just been like hanging out in Hamlet trying to look for work. Continue with her adventuring career. Has been kind of slow lately. Everything seems to be taken care of.
Awesome. So that is the group, kind of coming from all kind of some disparate or various regions from throughout the realm here. Some coming from Hamlet, some coming from elsewhere. But one way or another, you have all been in communication with Donovan and have made the journey many days to arrive here at the city of Mitric, which is located within the nation of Voluna. For many of your characters, it might be a place that you've just heard a lot about. There's always sort of maybe that city where all the important people that never sent much help down south to deal with the cults, one such place. It is the capital of the Archclericy of Mitric, the Archclericy of Voluna. Mitric is, by that standard, home to many, many temples, dedicated to all of the good aligned faiths, gods such as Rao, Eronius, Farlongen, and of course St. Cuthbert. And as you all are entering into the city, you are taken aback by the architecture, which reveals its age with stonework that is very visibly weathered and tarnished. This is an ancient city, and it bears its age proudly, and you can feel it almost. You can almost smell the history on the air itself. And as you are coming in, you can kind of notice kind of like how the layout of the city is, in that it's sort of naturally divided up into districts, which are separated by canals that feed into the Phallus River. And then there are bridges that connect the city, and then each little kind of land piece that supports the districts is walled off and makes up these various districts. And the bridges kind of help to restrict the flow of traffic, and it's very natural for the guards to kind of set up checkpoints to be inspecting wagons and carts and things like that come and go. And so you're probably having to deal with some of the realities of urban life here, slowly working your way towards the center, where the white towers that belong to the Temple of Rao are located. And this is the district that you are headed as you are trying to meet with a very important person, Lady Jolene. And so probably those of you that are maybe less in tune with political affairs, I'm sure Donovan is probably filling you in on who she is and what that means for not just maybe the nation of Voluna, but then kind of its greater significance with its allies such as Furiundi. So Lady Jolene is the former supreme mistress of the Celestial Order of the Moon. Voluna being a theocracy, it is headed by kind of the head of the churches, but it also is supported by sort of a legislature of nobles. And so she would be kind of like you could kind of think of her as like the Speaker of the House, I guess, of those like noble houses. She kind of was representative of all of those voices.
And just for a little bit of flavor, on the trip up, before I would have left, I would have commissioned, basically, we need to make sure that when we do go meet with Lady Jolene, we got to be wearing our God's Day bests, So have new clothes made and this kind of stuff to make sure that we're presentable when we go.
Yeah, absolutely. And if some of the characters here don't have that, Mitrick is the kind of city where you could get the top of the line kinds of clothes and things like that. And so absolutely. And so yeah, you manage to arrive. It's probably maybe like midday when you arrive at her home, and the offices, which are located in a luxurious manner right near the center of the city. You go and you make your presence known. Her servants escort you to her private offices, and you enter her private sanctum to find her sitting behind an intricately carved desk. Rich tapestries, comfortable furniture is laid about the room. Refreshments are being brought in for your meeting, and the attendants are very much kind of putting on that hospitality for you. Like whatever you need, they will get it for you. Anything that to make you comfortable, and they leave you to it and give you some privacy. She stands and
I bow.
and she would nod and acknowledge you. You could see that she is aged at this point. Definitely crow's feet around her eyes, silver hair pulled back, and she is wearing a regal gown of deep blue that is adorned with the crest of Voluna, a majestic four-pointed star surrounded by golden crescent moons. And she goes over to you as you bow, Donovan, and she kind of like lifts up your chin. She says, "There's no need for that here. I've heard so much about you all that I feel like I know you, and I feel like I can say with some certainty that we are going to be good friends. So we can dispatch with such formalities, at least in the confines of this room. Your names are not unfamiliar to me, as I have said, and I've heard them so many times in meetings with the lords and bishops. These elemental cults, they are ever changing throughout history, and hearing that it was Tharizdun's influence that motivated them to action this time, well, let me just say on behalf of the Archclericy of Voluna that your efforts averted a great calamity, and we are forever in your debt."
The honor and privilege was mine, my lady.
Hey, we were just doing what was right.
And she'll want to dig into some of your stories a little bit and hear maybe your tales, or maybe just this is just kind of you're getting the sense that she's trying to get into some small talk with you. And so maybe we'll just go around and each of you can like maybe describe or tell us about a bit of like a topic that you'd bring up in her presence, or something that could be a story of yours or just a topic that you wish to discuss with her. I'll say if whoever's comfortable or has something, you're gonna just throw it out there.
I could start. So Brelnera would probably bring up the fact that she took on not one but two black dragons. We dispatched one, and the other one, it flew down, and she'll just like embellish the story to the point where she's like making it sound like she was pretty integral, even though she didn't do a whole lot in the battle.
Lady Jolene would just comment that they are hearing a lot of news about dragons recently, more so than normal. That they are aware and know the names and locations of many dragons, but typically they have, over the past decades, kind of stayed reclusive or kind of out of sight and haven't drawn a lot of attention. That seems to be changing as of late. That your story is only further evidence that this might be something to investigate or dig into.
She would probably bring up that the wizards had made a deal with the red dragon to give us a hand, but in the end it didn't really need to come and help because the black dragons never got off the ground.
So she will dig in and kind of ask you a lot of questions. You almost feel like you're being interrogated for some kind of report or something that she will draft and write up later, but for now, it's just small talk before she digs into her business with you. But other topics or things that some of you bring up with her.
Donovan would give pretty much a rundown of his firsthand experiences with the Arco Elementals. I mean, describe in detail what, that there was the weapons that were opening these portals, the Lich, and then give his best recount of what he heard from the Arco Elementals that he did not take part in. But I believe he was involved in 3 of them, I believe.
She would probably To that, she would probably comment that she is thankful that the end result was that those weapons ended up being destroyed along with everything else. That some of the noble families had proposed ideas of recapturing those items, that they had heard that they were Sul weapons, and that they could be the safeguards of them. And her position always was one of caution, of the fear of keeping such weapons just means that eventually there's an eventuality that they would be used again. And so she's happy to hear that they were destroyed. And that go ahead.
One question that he would have, considering he hasn't been in the body politic per se, has there been any word on the killing of the elven princess?
She would say that basically what they are coming to understand is nobody has really strong communication with the fairy nation of Selene, but all reports that they're hearing is that there is an internal debate within the elven court about returning to fairy. And then she probably, you could tell she's kind of restraining herself from getting into it, but there's a lot of speculation about what does that mean for the region if the elves, who are the only thing that's really kind of keeping the orcs in check. There's an orc warlord down there that's uniting all of the orc clans, and so they have some concerns about what that might mean long term, but they don't have a good read on what's really going on.
I think at that point, Thrommel would he's been silent religiously. To this point, he would probably clear his voice, says, "Milady, I'm really proud to be standing in front of you with such peers. However, if I may, I want to everybody consider this price that has been paid for us to be here today talking with you." And he just mentioned about the Sul artifacts, and while I share your thoughts that it is perhaps better that those weapons have been destroyed, part of me resents that such treasures cannot be part of our civilization. And on a similar vein, but moving away from inanimate object to more alive people that were alive, that were dear to me, we've lost a great deal. Friends of valuable heroes that have as much right as I have standing in your presence today, but unfortunately cannot make it. So while I rejoice being here with you today, it is with a heavy heart that I must bring all of us to remember those that didn't make it, and unfortunately there are a few.
She pours a bit of wine into her glass, and she's just kind of mulling it over and thinking, and she says, trying to be very maybe considerate about the response that she's about to give you. And she says, the loss of any life is a tragic thing, especially ones of such valor as you speak of, ones that are willing to sacrifice everything to defend us. I cannot sit here and proclaim that I can feel that burden in the same way that you do. They were your friends and your kin, your brethren on the field of battle, but they should be honored. Tell me, is there something that I can do, some way that we can commemorate their memory that would be appropriate to immortalize them in the eyes of all free people?
I think it would be good to communicate to the folks in Veluna and Furiondi and elsewhere that even though we might want to and like to create big monsters that we can all rally behind the need to destroy, such as Use or Zakmoy or something, I think it would be good to remind people that we almost always fight against our dark self. I've seen many people that were bright and shiny being corrupted by the incredible burden of fighting this evil. So I think it would be good to remind everybody that at the end of the day, we are our greatest strength, but also we are at the same time our greatest weakness. And even though we might fight evil, we always have to remember that we're humans or whatever life creature we happens to be, and we shouldn't turn into what we're fighting against. And as he says that, I think his eyes would just become vague a little bit. and is thinking about Zillow and others, and then we'll, come back to the discussion. Oh, sorry, my lady. Just some thoughts.
Perhaps when the time is appropriate, I can talk with some of the other lords and certainly the Archclericy about a day of remembrance, commemorative day where we not just mourn the losses of those individuals, but have it carry the message that you suggest, that we weigh both our virtue and our temptations in that dark side that lives within each of us, that we are mindful of our whole. I think these are wise words, Master Arno.
And my lady, if I may, Thorwald here is currently in the process of building a fortification in the plains. Is it northeast of Raster? Is that right?
Southeast of Raster, west of Hamlet.
Okay. Something, I guess, if the elves were to decide to disperse and the host of humanoids from the south, it may be a good idea to have another fortification serving as a block towards the lands up here. I don't know if you can speak with those in Verbabank and such, perhaps commission some assistance, financial, labor, and things like that. That would be something
I believe
to be used
that
as a commemoration.
I believe that is in the realm of possibility, and maybe even necessity very, very soon.
I don't know. I'm hearing you guys talking about a lot more war. Maybe we should be working more towards peace.
Rareth has been kind of in a corner, melding up into the wall, being that he's half orc, half elf. Some of the discussion that's been going on has caused him to further just kind of melt into the background. But the talk of the weapons, the talk of the battles that we went through has reminded him of something that he hasn't thought about in 4 months. When everything was finished, he went out and killed a deer, tanned a hide, made a special pouch for something that he had put away, hadn't thought about. But this talk has brought it back up to him. And he's going to reach into his pouch and he's going to lay this on the table and ask for it to be examined. And when it's opened up, there's the dagger.
She would take a look at it and she would almost immediately profess that while she can recognize it by the gemstone, is like, she's heard a lot about Tharizdun in the past months, and so she recognizes it as an item of Tharizdun. She doesn't know anything more about it other than it makes her uncomfortable to see it on the table. She says that she would be willing to accept it from you if you were wanting it to be like looked at by more the experts within the Archclericy. There definitely be some people like that on staff that could take a look at it.
I have no further need of it.
Well, this certainly Tharizdun is your defeat of the cults is in the lifespan of an entity such as him, but a temporary setback. We will take a look at it, and perhaps there could be some clue or some arcane secret here that could be of use to us. Thank you for bringing this to us.
Just be careful with it. I'm told that Tharizdun could see through the weapon itself, through the gem and the hilt.
And then she would probably maybe motion for you to wrap it up, and she'll call an attendant in and have it taken out of the room. And after that happens, there's sort of like probably some awkward conversation that happens for a while, like for at least like 10 minutes to try to get away from that. Put some space between that subject and what she really has brought you here to talk about. And she's walking about the room with like her glass of wine, and she's talking and being sociable. And if anybody who wants to can make an insight check while she's doing it.
I would gladly.
I don't feel like making you all laugh, so I will not do that.
So, Bralnera, Donovan, you guys will notice that what she's really doing is it seems like she's going over to the door. It seems like she's listening. Like she's trying to determine whether there's any eavesdroppers or anything, what it seems like. And while she's having kind of this disjointed conversation with you, she's distracted while she's talking with you. Eventually, the tone like dramatically shifts. Like she has decided it's time to talk. She has finished a bit of her wine. She goes and pours herself another. And she kind of raises her glass Friends, I have asked you here not as a representative of the Celestial Order of the Moon. What I have called you here for is not business of an official kind. It's something of a personal matter. I have need to go to a very small village in the nation of Furiandi, a place called Millfield. You've probably never heard of it. It would not show up on most maps. It is but 200 people. I need to go to this place, but it cannot be known that I have left Valuna. It cannot be known that I have entered Furiandi, for, as I am sure you are well appraised of the situation in Furiandi, the king has died, and there is a succession crisis underway. The nation of Valuna is officially neutral in this matter. We are not playing any favorites. We are not throwing our weight behind any one claim of succession. We are staying uninvolved until Furiandi gets its house in order. Thus, it is important that, though I have this business in Millfield, I cannot be known that I am there. That is why I have called you here, is that I need professionals whom I can trust, who are not connected to any house, that have no extra baggage to bring along with me. I will make it worth your while. I will pay each of you 1,000 gold pieces to take me there and back again without being seen.
Good lady, is Prince Thrommel not the rightful heir?
She would look at you strangely.
Towel too.
Prince Thrommel has not been seen in decades. He's presumed dead.
Of course, I'm sure Rarith didn't connect the dots. I apologize, milady.
And unless someone's going to press it, like, she's quick to move off of the subject as well. Like, you can almost see her upset, I guess, a little bit upset. But she's a politician. She's keeping her composure, and she's, as soon as you give her the out to like move off the topic, like, she's off, and she'll go back to, I think it is a 6-day journey on foot. Shouldn't be much trouble to get me out of the city unseen. I'm sure you have had much more difficult tasks before you.
Would you like to leave now?
I was thinking under cover of darkness might be best. But I will defer to your judgment.
I could certainly turn you into a mouse. We could take you with us. Nobody would be none the wiser.
And she kind of like it kind of lights up in her head, like she hadn't even considered that you know this would be your solution, that you could do such things. And she says, well, that sounds like a very novel solution, my friend. Yes, I would happily submit to this.
Are all your affairs in order? Can you just up and leave like this? Will people miss you?
Give me an hour. There are certainly a few things that I will want to sign off on and tend to, just to make sure everything is in order before I leave. But I'm sure that by this afternoon, at the latest, I have my affairs sorted. Will that work for you?
We will set about getting provisions and such. Whereabouts is this Millfield?
She will tell you that it is pretty much like right along the border of the western border of Furiandi.
Okay.
My memory serves, there's like maybe a river or something that kind of forms a border somewhere there. The details of where it is will likely not matter too much in the context of the adventure, but it's about a 6-day journey, so I want to plan for that.
Okay, very good. Lady, I was shocked to have received your missive, and it sounds that this task is something that should be fairly easily accomplished, considering you, I guess, when we get to Millfield, is there somebody that we should seek out, considering you will be a small animal?
Oh, she won't be a mouse forever. I can only do it for an hour. We're just getting her out of the city.
Oh, okay, get her out of the city. Gotcha. All right.
She would tell you that there's a place called the Golden Grain Tavern where she is headed, and so all you need to do is, she says this mouse thing is interesting. Maybe we'll be able to use it again to get me in to the tavern and book a room, and I think from there, I might be able to give you further details about what we need to do, but for now, just getting me there is the task.
You're expecting trouble then?
I am not. I think it should be relatively easy. No one knows that I am leaving, and as long as it remains that way, this should be a very simple task. I shan't stay there long.
I feel like there's something that she's not telling us.
Very
I'm sure-
clearly. There's very clearly
Yeah,
something that she's
right.
not telling you, but you get the sense pressing it will probably be met with resistance.
Well, milady, we're off to get some provisions. We'll meet you back here in 1 hour.
Sounds
With your
good.
permission.
And so she will absolutely, she'll walk you out and make it seem like you had a good visit, and that she's sending you off. And she tells you that she will meet you down in, there's a garden that runs adjacent to her offices, and she can meet you down there. It has a public access. Meet her there. And so, yes, you are off to really doing any purchasing or anything that you all need. Thank you so much, Casey, for the DM reroll.
Oh, Casey.
And also for the player reroll. So one of each.
There you go. All right, we'll do that. Good job.
Love you, Katie.
So is there any special purchases or things that you need to do in the city before you head out?
I just buy
once
some. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I just get some provisions for the trip.
Provisions, more nondescript clothing than what we're currently wearing. Stuff more befitting travel and such. Not
Yeah, I was going to say
not to
that
call attention
once we got out of the meeting, Bralnera would immediately strip off the dress that Donovan has her wearing and hand it back to him. You can sell that.
Awesome. Yeah,
And underneath, she's got her full armor on.
easily
It's
done.
possible. It's possible you may need it again, Brownera. You looked lovely.
Yes. The city makes me sad. There's not enough nature here.
Guys, any of you is good with history?
What kind of history?
Well, I don't remember the details, but I do remember having heard the story. But I'm reluctant not to make a stupid of myself. But Donovan, do you remember what happened when Lady Jolene was younger?
Well, she was betrothed to Prince Thrommel, I believe.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
Yes, I almost brought up that we had found his weapon 10 years ago.
Wait, you have his weapon?
No. That's it's broken. You broke it. So that part is safe.
But I believe the information was supposed to make it back to people that it would be important for. However, it was nothing I ever followed up on, so I do not know if that information was ever passed on.
What about you, Rareth? You seem to have information about this Thrommel character.
I was getting ready to ask Alex a question. I'm the only person in this party that knows the truth about Thrommel, right?
Thorwell too.
So, okay, so both of us do know. I asked the question to her to see if she knew.
Knew what?
Rareth, make an insight check, I guess. What did I say? I just said she seemed upset. Yeah, she seemed upset.
14 on my insight.
Yeah, you're not sure what that means, but she was stone-faced about it, but you could feel maybe some tears kind of welling up in the corners of her eye, but you don't know how to interpret that. Does that mean that she knows something or not? Clearly, I would say with the 14 insight, it's clear that even after all these decades, there's still some emotion about him, that love has not maybe died out. But could it be Thrommel's on the mind recently just because King Belvor died? That event for her probably brings up a lot of the past. You could speculate about what it might be, but yeah, there's definitely some emotion there.
Rareth definitely feels like at this point the other party members, especially Donovan, needs to know about Thrommel and would relate the story once we were in a place where it was certain that no one else would hear. So Prince Thrommel is dead, but he's undead. Prince Thrommel is a vampire. We discovered him under the old temple of elemental evil when we were sent by Byrne to investigate something that was going on there.
What became of him?
Donovan, you might remember that he disappeared many years ago.
Yes.
Turns out
he was taken by the forces of the temple, perhaps.
it was taken by Hughes, who uses perverse sense of humor, I guess, to curse him forever. We found him, even though at the time we did not know who was him. I suspected as much, but I willed it with all my will that this wasn't so. But it's all things that you want so clearly. They're almost always the things that you can't make happen. We took his crown. We took his Zord. The Zord was crushed. At least the crown has been returned to his father before he died. But it is a very sad story indeed. That such a great man of all things, if he had died, I don't want to say it.
Well, if he had died, it would have been better.
He did die. If he's a vampire, he's dead.
Well,
So, was he let go? I mean, what happened to him?
he
Was he allowed to leave?
He was allowed to leave. Not that was what I wished. I wanted to put him out of his misery then and there, but I was not allowed to. The party felt some type of loyalty, and he was allowed to continue and was seen later headed towards Verbank City.
At this point, you all see you don't need to do an inside check that Thorwald is sweating, but his mouth is pursed lipped.
You got something to add, Thorwald?
Just damn hot here, Metric.
I'd like to point out that, like she said, these beings, they play the long game. And if he's had some control over this prince, do you think maybe he's going to come back?
If he's a vampire and he's undead and his father has died,
he's still Thrommel, Donnie.
Well,
you don't know that.
I do know that.
How do you know that?
Because I looked the man in the eyes.
And nobody's ever lied to you.
Well, I can't say that, but it seemed honest to me.
I've got a 21 for an insight check on Thorwald.
You guys, I don't enforce skill checks players on players. You guys handle it. Oh, you want?
You can tell that Thorwald is particularly scared and disappointed that you guys have come out so strong about the need to put him down, and you can tell that he does not like that discussion at all. Zero.
You do understand that they play the long game. This could just be a trap.
What this could be is that they might meet if she goes back in Furiandi. That's what I'm trying to say. And of course, we shouldn't tell her, but be on the lookout.
Well,
No,
if he
Wait, do we want them to meet?
No, I don't know. Probably not.
Thorwald, what was the first question that he asked when he revealed himself to be Prince Thrommel? He asked about Lady Jolene.
That's why I'm concerned.
Do
Well,
you think that this plan of hers to go there is to meet with him?
Well, I hope not. But who knows? I'm just
This
saying.
is-
let's
Oh
be
my
on the
God, what
lookout.
have you guys done?
Well,
Thorwald, you need to stop making these bad deals. I heard you made a deal with the Lich. You made so many deals.
look, if I was
Have
a
any
deal
of
maker,
them worked out?
well, I'm not a deal maker. Okay, I don't even know what I am.
Donovan, please make sense of this.
Lady Jolene is my liege, I serve her. The speculation of a possible meeting is just that. We've been asked to take her there, and I think we should. With this information, however, what I worry is if Thrommel, vampire, undead, or not, is still the rightful heir.
Is
He would be, yes.
they would let a
But
vampire sit on the throne?
Probably
here's the
no
thing.
precedent for that, right?
but here's the thing: they would
Humans are insane.
Yeah, they may not know that he is. Vampires are tricky creatures, and
And again, I go back to my point. Is this just a long game from somebody that's controlling him?
quite possibly, yeah. I mean, if he was cursed by use, he could be enthralled as well. And if Thrommel, as a I mean, pretty much what you're saying is the four of us currently right now are the only people within 1,000 miles in any direction know this information.
Well, Byrne knows.
Okay. So we're 80% of the people that know this information. This is dangerous information, especially if it's something that is meant to be hidden.
Brother is going to look around. Is anybody watching us, paying any special attention to us, listening in on our conversation?
Describe to me where the conversation is happening. You're in a big city, I don't have to describe to you like you could generally tell me.
Well, at the beginning of the conversation, I specifically said that I was looking for a place that was
Right. What does it look like? What is it?
Kinda like
probably an alley of
Like
some
an alley.
type.
Okay. So you're in like the sounds of the city are echoing, off the street. You're looking around. I'm not gonna have you do any perception checks. You don't see anybody like blatantly like staring at you, but Lady Jolene in her own office wasn't sure that she wasn't being spied on. So that's what it is.
Yeah.
Did we tell her?
Who? Okay. So it was the two of you and Byrne, correct?
No. Okay, so
Who all knows this information? I guess is what.
a little bit more people, because see, there have been multiple encounters, not just one.
How did you guys keep this a secret?
Because it needs to be a secret. In fact, I honestly am surprised that Rarith shared.
Rarith has wanted to share since the beginning. Rarith wanted to make it known and only
That's a bad idea.
acquiesced.
That's a bad idea. That's why it was not shared, because that's dangerous, as Donnie just said.
Thorwald,
Donovan, once we
not-
get her out of the city, I think we need to tell her this.
No.
No, she needs to be informed.
Are you crazy, Bralera?
Bralnera, this is information that needs to be sat on until the right
Until
time.
what? He's on the crown?
One thing that I have found is timing is everything. We need to keep this information close to the chest until the time is right. But this information is also something that if we know this and other people do not know that we know this, it will allow us an advantage were we ever to need to act. But what I fear, this is what I fear. This is my ultimate fear currently right now, is that he was thralled by Euse. He plans on making a move because he is the rightful heir. The information that we have will be secret. He will take the crown, and Euse would have a thrall sitting on the throne of Furion.
And we're about to take this lady who's going to put him there.
Guys,
right
I
to
think-
him.
I
Well,
feel
we don't know that.
I-
That is what we don't know. We do not know who she is going to meet.
I feel, Donnie, you're looking at the worst case scenario here. And by worst, I mean like really, really shitty worse. There is also a potential bright spot in here, and he is still the hero he was, and he's going to do the right thing, right?
You just said yourself that he was being controlled by this guy.
No, I didn't say it. I don't think he was. I think he was, genuinely himself.
Without the emotion that Thorwald has invested in this situation, I can say that he seemed of sound mind when we talked to him. But not knowing him from beforehand, I have no metric to go by.
All right, Rarith. Is Thorwald of sound mind?
Not normally, no.
Oh, okay. So you do have some
I might
sense
take
to you.
offense at that statement, guys. I'm still here, by the way.
And
So-
you're still a very good friend. But you have your moments, sir.
Well, to be honest, it's your guys' kingdom, not mine. So if you guys want to put a vampire on the throne, hey, who am I to stop you?
Okay, so
No, that's-
he just said he wanted to see his father before he died, and then he's gonna go back in the shadows. So I don't think he's gonna be there. But just in case, given that we accepted this mission to escort Lady Jolene, let's just be on extra lookout.
Yeah.
Okay. So
and let's-
what if that is the plan, to put him on the throne? You're
Yeah.
okay with that?
I feel that this is totally the product of your mind as of now, Bralera.
No. This is a human problem. I'm a dwarf. We tend to take more of a long game approach to things as well, just like the elves.
Prince Thrommel cannot take the throne, because if he were to do that, by looking what he looks right now, everybody would know he's a vampire, because it's not possible that Lady Jolene looks like a 60 years old where he looks like a 25 years old.
Magic
Right.
exists, that can.
So
that
yeah,
can do. And
I could make myself look like a bear.
Yeah.
So before
And then
we
you-
spin off into like speculation that's like several degrees removed, is it fair to say we've come to a conclusion that even though there's like different opinions about it, that the group has decided for now they're not going to let on to Lady Jolene about this, but are going to escort her in sort of like with this collective wariness of keeping an eye towards the skies, maybe for bats and such.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, that would be my take. I would implore of everybody keep
Yeah.
this information close
Oh,
to
of
your
course.
chest. And
You humans are really interesting.
All right. So this conversation happens. You had some shopping to do. Those types of things are happening. You're going to the different provision stores and maybe purchasing some traveling clothes and such for those that need it. Is there anything else specifically that anybody, like anything in the player's handbook, like you'll be able to buy and we don't have to play out here? Is there anything like special that you'd be able to obtain in the next?
We're in a city.
small
If
mirror.
you guys want to stay alive, some more diamonds might be a good idea. I don't know how much money we brought, but
A small mirror.
Garlic.
How much money you need, Brunera?
they cost 300 apiece.
I only have 130. Would that be enough for you?
Aye.
So here you go. 13.
Well, I don't want to take every cent that you have.
No, it's not every cent, but it's the the big guys. 13 platinum. That's all I have. And then I keep in the little
Okay.
coins for myself.
All right. I will buy one more gem or diamond if I
good.
can.
Yeah.
How many
easy.
do you have?
That would give me 3.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. 6 days rations. I'll add on a little mirror, and then I'm good.
All right. So, sometime in the afternoon, you reconvene and meet with Lady Jolene in the garden. You'll find her. She's already dressed with like kind of heavy traveler's clothes, a cloak, hood, and she's got like a kind of like a dark crimson leather like messenger bag that she has with her. And so she's got some garb to maybe help further on down the road to kind of make her look more like common. But as you meet up, you know, she will submit to it's a polymorph spell that you were going to cast.
Yep.
And you'll cast that. Sounds like turn her into a mouse, and she will jump into your pack, and you'll very easily be able to exit out of the city with her. So your journey will begin 6 days on the road. And just to be clear, it's kind of like autumn weather. Typically in the community campaign, we've just kind of like pinned it to like what's that, like kind of the month and time in real life that is happening. But since we're fast forwarded time, it would be like, yeah, like late October, early November weather. So kind of a chill. You're moving overland past kind of the lowlands. And after 6 days, let's call it 5 days. You've traveled 5 days or so, and you know that on the next day you would be very likely crossing into the border into Furiundi. I guess I just want to. I know I'm kind of like glossing over the travel part of this. Is not going to be like wandering encounters and stuff. Likely you're passing by merchants and things like that on the road, but you all have skills such that you would be able to like make sure that Lady Jolene is not identified or anything like that. But is there anything special that anybody wants to kind of bring up that happens over these 6 days, or things that you want to play out?
I guess Thorwald would be very attentive to whatever Lady Jolene says for any hint of the true purposes, but just being very like, you know, not pushing or anything, just being there, making sure he gets any hint, if there is any.
Probably not. Like anytime like the topic of Millfield comes out, like she's kind of like, she'll just pull out trivia about it. Like she'd be like, you know, Millfield, while it is not a common name in certainly not amongst the citizens of Valuna, but even amongst Furiundians, it is probably just this podunk city that not many people know about. But it did have its own claim to fame several hundred years ago when King Belvor's great-great-great-grandfather stopped in there for attorney, on his way to attorney, and, you know, fell in love with the beer that they brewed there, and then declared it like the royal ale of the court and served it at all officially. Like she's just like stuff like that is just like rolling out of her mouth. So it's all kind of superficial. without prodding, she's not going to say too much more probably. Cool. So yeah, so then you're on like the day of, basically the 6th day, and you're riding and it's kind of like a full day's journey, and Lady Jolene, probably with your coordination a bit, is kind of directing you in the direction, trying to identify the natural landmarks that would lead you to this destination. It doesn't really seem like there's a main road or something that you're traveling on. It's kind of like just overland. Right, this is very remote. Is your impression as this place is way out there? And so on the evening of the 6th day, the sun is beginning to set, and there's sort of like an orange glow that's cast. It's like, I don't know, kind of like autumn weather, or autumn. The sun's setting like earlier and earlier, and so it's maybe like 5 or 6 at night. And you start to hear, though, as you're like traveling, like Lady Jolene is kind of suggesting to you that you're like almost there, like just press a little bit further, like it's still possible to get there yet tonight, and maybe it's even best to enter the village with the cover of darkness and things like that. But still some daylight, this orange glow over the hills, cresting over the hills, but you hear the sound of galloping hooves that reach your ears, and you can see as you kind of turn and like look maybe like 90 degrees to your profile, you can see that there are 5 heavily armored knights on horseback, and one of them has like a flag that they're waving on a pike that has the emblem of the Knights of the Heart, a pair of golden antlers on a azure background, so they are clearly Knights of the Heart that are serving within the borders of Furiandi. And anything dramatic that you are doing as they are approaching, they're not, they're good aligned, they're in the service of the nation, basically. Probably this is the border patrol, your guess.
I more or less sitting in the saddle, would sit upright and kind of with my hands kind of off to the side, showing that I'm not reaching, for the weapon, whatever standard, amongst knights that you do that, but just await them to see what.
They're riding in kind of like a V formation, and the one that's taking point like hails you, and they bring their horses to stop. They stare at you with stern, kind of vigilant expressions, and the lead one he's wearing like chainmail, he's got a long sword at his side, shield, kind of saddled up by the horse's rear. He just looks at you all and he says, "Hail, well met, travelers. We bid you welcome to these lands in the name of the late great King Belvoir IV, last of his name. These are uncertain times, and I trust that you understand that the safety and security of Furiandi requires that we ask all who enter this realm to submit to questioning. Your cooperation is greatly appreciated. We won't take long, and we'll have you on your way."
I'll give him a bow, and I'll say, was sorry to hear about your king. My name is Donovan Lockwood, votary in the Church of St. Cuthbert. Well met. And ask your questions.
And he's going to start to ask his questions. You notice that the other 4 are definitely kind of scrutinizing the group, while he's the lead guy has his attention on Donovan currently. But the other 4 are kind of looking about. Lady Jolene is just like on her horse, kind of keeping her cowl over her eyes. So keep that in mind as we'll have him ask his first question. He just looks at you, Donovan. From whence do you hail? And what purpose do you have journeying here to Furiandi?
I hail from Hamlet, south of Verbabank. We had traveled north into Valuna to the capital city of Mitric, and we're just heading into Furiandi, seeking adventure and some solace. I wished to arrive and bid my condolences to the family of King Belvoir in honor of the Church of St. Cuthbert.
Make me a deception check.
Probably not my jam.
You do have 3 rerolls, I believe. So just in case
Right.
you
We should have discussed what our cover story was. Deception, eh? Did it work?
It did.
Yeah, no, it didn't work.
No. Would you like to use one of those player rerolls?
I will do a player reroll, yeah. And hopefully don't screw it up.
So he seems satisfied with your answer. The rest of while Donovan is answering these questions, any actions that any of the rest of you, maybe I'll just go one by one and kind of get what you are doing. So let's start with Rarith. Anything that Rarith is doing well interrogation is happening.
Rareth's got the hood up on his cloak and is just kind of melted into the wilderness around him.
How about Thorwald?
Will assume the pose of not threatening, but he will move closer to Lady Jolene and just give them clear body language that I'm protecting her, like making sure they understand that I'm right. I'm basically anyway. You get it.
Yeah, sure. Is it like kind of bodyguard feel, or is it more like?
Yeah, it's kind of like I want them to feel like I'm guarding this lady, so that you know.
Okay. So the second question that comes your way, Donovan, is the lead knight says, what affiliations or organizations are you associated with that are enemies of the crown?
There are none.
He pretty quickly moves off that question. What is your intended destination?
Currently this evening, Millfield.
All right, and he's looking to the other knights, and one of them is pointing at Jolene. Says, "Sir, does she look familiar?"
I don't think so.
They're kind of whispering to each other, and then you bring up what does Thorwald do?
Thorwald says, "Sirs, I don't mean disrespect, but it is not honorable nor polite to discuss about a woman right before nighttime. I suggest you do about your business about asking who we are and quit the chatting."
Intimidation check.
I might need to reroll that, Alex.
Okay, using a reroll.
Yeah, it hasn't come yet, but when it does, you'll see it's a meager 11. So that.
There it is.
Oh, that's even worse. Great.
Your voice squeaks.
Yeah, it's just you can see a couple of them are kind of smirking at each other, and they're like, "Oh, we understand, sir. You're smitten. We got it." But she does look familiar, and they're starting to kind of they're scrutinizing her at this point, and they say the lead knight gets off of his horse and walks over to her.
Thorwald will get down from his horse as well and stand in front of Jolene's horse, not threateningly, but definitely clearly not moving.
Rareth is going to try to intercede and move the conversation away from Lady Jolene. And he's going to say, Millsfield, I've heard about some great ale that they have there. What do they call it? Is it called Miller by any chance?
Let's see. Deception check.
Yeah, that didn't work.
There's still one player reroll if you'd like to use.
With a -1, no, I don't think I will.
Okay. They just all look at you with confusion for a second, what the hell is this guy talking about? And then they go back to scrutinizing Lady Jolene, and the lead knight just says, "Lady Jolene, we are honored to have you here in our presence. Welcome to Furiundi. Where is your destination?" And you could just see her she's holding her breath, and she realizes there's nothing that she could do to throw off deception, so she just admits it, and she says, "I am here on personal business to go to Millfield. These are my escorts." And the knight almost immediately gets down on his knee, and he's like, "You will have a official Furiundi escort as well. Please, you all can follow us. We will take you directly to Millfield."
That will not be necessary, my good sir.
If you do that, you're gonna expose her to further threat.
Make a persuasion check.
Look at that.
Ooh,
Awesome.
nice.
Okay, so he considers your words, and he says, "You might be right. I apologize, my lady. We will not delay you any further. The evening comes swiftly, and these lands are not safe. I would have you answer but one more question before we break ranks here." And the others they all kind of look at each other warily, and you almost get the sense that he almost doesn't want to ask you this question, maybe because he doesn't know how to phrase it, but he tries. He says, "Have you, in your travels getting here, have you seen a man? Have you encountered anyone, strange individuals of any kind, past days on the road? Anyone that you saw that seemed to prefer traveling by night?"
No.
"There are stories, Millfield not excluded. We have heard farmers in the area complain of livestock that have been killed in a very strange manner. Their necks ripped out. Be on the lookout. We have reasons to believe there is a monstrous creature in the area. Millfield is just but that way maybe 30 minutes. You should be in the village well in time before sundown. And he kind of gives you a nod, and then they ride off to continue their patrol.
Brolner will turn to Rareth. Well, it wasn't me.
Rareth says,
How is Jolene?
She looks like frustrated. She has been spotted. They will report to like you could see in her head. She's just like, damn it, like this is not the outcome that she wanted. But she's just kind of like she's simmering maybe a little bit with maybe anger a bit. Not at anyone in particular. Just that the situation happened. And she's the quicker we get to Millfield, the better. Let us go. Let us make haste.
The half an hour trip, unfortunately, we should have turned you into a mouse or whatever 5 minutes ago.
Yes,
But-
I thought we could have gotten closer before we did that task. It is my fault. I should have. Well, what is done is done. Whatever the fallout of this is, I will certainly deal with it.
Rareth, as soon as the guard started asking this question and realized what he was getting at, would have been paying extra close attention to Lady Jolene's facial features, her demeanor, to see if there was any shift.
When the knight was asking about like vampires, basically.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and do an insight check.
12.
She was maybe recoiling a little bit, like disgusted as she was hearing about it. Kind of the typical like a common person hearing about a vampire, eating the jugular of a sheep. Like she's, ooh, not great. I don't like that. He went into like a little too much maybe detail or description. Well, with that, you start to head in the direction of Millfield.
Yes.
So
The Golden Grain Tavern, right? That's what we're looking for?
yes. So you continue forward, and up ahead, you will see the first signs of the quaint little village. Little kind of rustic sign on a post that says Millfield, kind of haphazardly, kind of stuck in the ground. Very meager little 1-2 room shacks for the most part with straw roofs. And you can see villagers are kind of going about their evening routines. They're carrying like buckets of refuse or waste out to the compost, or just kind of getting settled. Maybe people putting out lanterns on the outsides of their windows just to light up the little road that runs through it. There's just sort of this like pastoral scene. Like, it is very simple. It reminds you a bit of like Hamlet, like original Hamlet from 10 years ago, when it was just a small little kind of road, like country church dedicated to Rao. And as you're starting to make your way there, though, this pastoral kind of calm scene, the orange glow of the sun is like darkened. There are these like storm clouds that kind of unnaturally start to roil above you. And there's a loud rumbling kind of thunder, the precursor of maybe a great storm. Villagers are taking notice, looking up at the darkened sky. And as you like kind of look around you, to the left and to the right and to your rear, there's this like rolling fog that is very, very rapidly closing in around. Then you hear a crack of thunder, and the very earth underneath your feet begins to crack open, create this fissure. Just as you realize what is happening, it's literally like cracking and rending and ripping apart. And you all need to make a dexterity saving throw to try to leap to safety from this.
Everybody gets a +3. Pardon me. Hold on. Let's make sure that that's right. Saving throws are +3.
All right. So what do we got? We got a 16 from Brelnira, 9 from Thorwald. Okay. So as this happens, like the majority of you leap forward and get to solid ground, but Thorwald, you fall into this crevice that is opening up. Like the earth is separating from itself. And as you look down, like it's horrifying what you're seeing, because not only is the earth ripping apart, it isn't like dirt and soil that you see several layers down. It almost looks like muscle tissue ripping and rending apart and just stringy. And beyond it is just a void of darkness. And you rolled a 9, you fall. And as you fall, you're kind of like clawing at the rock and the soil, and your fingertips don't catch onto anything until they glob onto this muscle mass and tissue. You're just hanging there, like maybe 6 feet down, clinging on for dear life, because if you fall, you're looking down and you just don't know. There's no pit that you're falling into. Inky black void.
Should I go get him?
Dexterous, am I able to jump back and grab him?
If you're going to go down, you'd have to like crawl down a bit to do so. So it'd be like a strength athletics check to get down low enough that you could grab him and then possibly help him up.
Brelner will turn into an eagle and fly down to get him.
This is like a giant eagle.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Giant eagle can do that. An eagle would not. But you're going to do the Lord of the Rings thing and like swoop down and catch him.
Uh-huh.
All right. Sounds good. So you go ahead and you do that and you grab. Oh, I'm sorry, Jeff. I didn't realize you were choosing to. I thought the silence I took to mean fuck that. I'm not going down there.
Oh no, I was just trying
Okay.
to find what I was needing to roll.
Okay. Well, sorry, I misunderstood what was happening. So let's say that athletics check, because you had said you wanted to do that first, happens. You don't expend the wild shape. So you manage to like
Okay.
kind of crawl down there and grab his arm and then help pull him up. Now, when you do so, Thorwald, you are visibly like shaking as this happens. I need you to make me a wisdom saving. Okay. So you don't have the frightened condition. That's what you were saving against. But you do have, and this is a new mechanic that was going to follow us throughout this mini campaign. Thorwald, you have a point of stress. When you have a point of stress, you get a -1 to attack rolls, saving throws, and ability checks. You accumulate more points of stress, that modifier or that penalty accumulates. So like if you have 5 points of stress, you have a -5 on those things. So that is something that you'll have to keep track of. They won't go away until I tell you that they go away. And you also have what we're going to call a Seeds of Fear. Your Seeds of Fear is heights. So anytime that might trigger, like say you're fighting on top of a tower that's 50 feet tall, you're going to have to face that fear, and you might accumulate more points of stress based on that condition. So it's a little bit of a mechanical thing, but it's also going to be a little bit of a role play thing. So as this is happening, you're looking around and you can see this phenomenon is happening elsewhere. And legitimately, like the earth that you were standing on, this moat of earth is separating and it is moving. And that fog and that roiling mist kind of just fills in and seems to creep down, create this like artificial wall that is separating you. And so you're on the side that's closest to Millfield. You can still see Millfield, and there is screaming happening. There is shouting, there's little kids crying, all sorts of commotion, and the sounds of horses galloping. As you look in that direction, you can see that there are 2 skeletal figures with kind of this like mummified skin that's just draped over their frames, and they're wearing like chainmail, and they've got swords out. They're riding skeletal horses, and they're just hacking and slashing at anybody that they can catch in the street that's running away from them. They're not alone. They are being led by a horse that is wreathed in flame, and the rider that is atop that horse is headless, and he has this like axe that he's wielding, and you just watch, he's just with ease like butter lopping the heads off of any innocents that he comes across. And so basically where you are on the map, that's where we're going to say, I'm pretty sure you all are charging it to stop or intervene in this situation. So that is where you're going to pick that up right there. I have to get my initiative counter tracker up. I have to reveal these guys, put us all on the tracker, and then we're going to go ahead and roll some initiatives. Rarith, you are up first.
Well, that's good. Let's use a little bit of assassinate here. Guess I will go right after the Headless Horseman. Arrow going towards Ichabod.
All right.
So that's at advantage, and it's an automatic critical.
Arrow pierces through his breastplate. The horse whinnies and erupts in flame. You kind of hear, even though he's headless, there's like this piercing squeal or screech on the air.
I get sneak attack for that too. Okay, so that looks like 38, 47 points of damage.
All right, this is with a magical weapon.
Indeed.
Okay,
I'll shoot him again.
hits.
7 points of damage.
All right.
That is all.
And then next up we've got Thorwald. So definitely like this thing is just like reeling after being shot twice, and attention is focused on the group. It seems like he's kind of like gesturing with his axe towards you, and the other two riders are. Looks like they're moving their steeds to come charging towards you.
Thor will place himself here. A bonus action, he will, take out the sword. Bonus action, light it on fire. And then as action, dodge.
Sounds good. Next up, Donovan.
We standing, fighting here, right? Are we making a stand here?
Well, I just place myself because I give you an aura of alacrity. So if you start your turn within 5 feet of me, you get a +10 movement speed. So do whatever you want.
Ooh,
if you want to
gotcha.
stay there, we can make a fight. But I place myself for this round here just to give you the ability to move fast.
All right.
It's up to you.
I will do this. Sorry, going on the wrong thing here. So I get +10. Well, I'm on a horse, so right?
Yeah. You said at the start of the session you brought your steed back.
Yes. So I am charging here, riding him there. I will attack him with a Mace of Disruption and miss. Wow. I will do it again.
That one hits.
16 total.
All right.
And then I am going to, as a bonus action, attempt to knock him off his horse.
All right. So he will make 25.
Oh, yeah, okay. He's good.
All right. Anything else from Donovan?
I think that's it.
So you hit him with the mace and try to knock him off, and he's just like, it almost like feels like he's like attached to this horse, like they're one and the same almost.
And don't forget on the Mace of Disruption, just keep in mind that if the target has 25 hit points or fewer after taking this damage, DC 15 Wisdom save if it's a fiend or an undead, or it's destroyed.
Yes, thank you for reminding me of that. We're not quite there yet, but probably if you keep hitting them this hard, probably soon. Bralnera is up next.
Oh, really? Okay. Bralnera's gonna sneak under Thorwald's legs, and if you'll let me, transform into an elk, a giant elk, and then charge the horse.
Sounds good.
So I will make a ram attack. Oh, that's not good.
Oh, that is not good. Go ahead and roll your d6 for fumble possibility. Oh, that's not good. Let us see what we've got.
Don't suppose we have any rerolls, eh? Oh, just the DM, yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
They, okay, this is kind of funny. So it turns out to be a good thing for you. Like, you go and you ram against this horse, and it, like, headbutts you and kind of knocks you back. You're going to have advantage on your next attack against the target. Not all fumbles are bad. All right. So,
Thorwald, are you going to move your character up, or?
And next round.
Oh, I picked you up.
Oh, you picked me up? Oh, okay. Then
You're riding a giant elk right now.
That's awesome, man. I want to do that more often.
So the skeletal riders are going to move up. We'll say this one moves up to attack Thorwald. I'm just going to see if possibly this is working now. Oh, it is. Okay. So I'll start using 19, I believe, misses.
10 misses, and I'm dodging. So disadvantage.
Oh, and disadvantage. I should roll just to see if it's fumble. Okay. And he will try to do this. 17 will miss. And the other one is going to move up and try to attack. Okay, of course, his doesn't work. I'll just use this other. I think my tokens are a little screwed up on top of it just being leggy. Attacking Donovan. That one misses, and he will also try the life drain. Ooh, 22.
That is my AC.
Make a DC 13 con save. Okay, no problems there. Here's the damage. So a total of 4 necrotic damage, but it is not taken off your hit point max. All right, and then this rider here, the Headless Rider, he is going to attack Donovan with his battle axe, which, I am going to have to use my DM reroll, I think. We can't let that stand. 23 to hit.
That hits.
11 slashing, and he makes one more attack with his battle axe. Just tries to bring it back the other way, but that time will miss. And then upon this steed that he's on, he will take off. He starts, it like flies straight up. Basically, Donovan, if you want to take an attack of opportunity against him, you certainly could. Others of you could make your If you wanted to use an attack of opportunity on the nightmare, you could. So a 21 will hit him for 19.
If that takes him below 25, there's that thing.
All right. Any other attacks coming in for the nightmare?
You said it's at advantage, my next attack?
Your next attack against the nightmare is at advantage.
Oh my.
19 damage, if a 20 hits.
20 hits, 19 damage. Okay, got it. And Thorwald, what did you? You had a 25. 25. This creature is immune to the fire, so it just.
Okay. So I will break it down for you. Is 2 plus 6, so 8 points of damage.
Okay. So with that, they fly up, and they're going to fly up like 180 feet up into the air, and they go past where these roiling clouds are and out of sight. Totally obscured. But gives you the sense that he was basically like leaving the combat. But you don't know. Could be watching from up above there. And with that, we go back and turn around. It is Rare's turn.
Bonus action, steady aim, and I will fire at the what is that? A warhorse skeleton at Thorwald and Braunera.
Okay, sounds good.
And look at that, a little bit of critical for 26 points of damage.
The arrow hits the skull, which shatters, and the body of the warhorse just like falls forward, and the rider tumbles off, kind of tumbles a bit, and but he manages to get up on his feet, like he kind of rolls into a stand, but the horse is totally destroyed.
Okay, so the white is the rider.
Yes.
I'll fire my second shot at him. 21 to hit.
That hits.
I didn't use sneak attack on that first attack, so I can apply it on this one.
Sure.
So 15 points of damage to the white.
Sounds good. Anything else?
No, since I use steady aim, I can't move.
All right. Next up is Thorwald.
So we'll attack the white in front of him, standing on top of Braunera, apparently. So excited about being on top of a giant elk.
14 hits.
Oh, okay. So he takes 20 points of damage.
All right. Still up.
Second attack, probably misses.
That one misses.
That would be my turn.
All right. Next up is Donovan.
I will Mace of Disruption this white on the horse.
Hits.
22. A second attack on him as well.
Okay, hits. He has less than 25 now, so I think he's destroyed.
He makes a wisdom save.
Oh, he makes a wisdom save. Okay.
A DC 15.
Here. Oh, he makes it.
Okay.
But he takes 20 points, so he's not looking good.
Right.
Awesome. Anything else from Donovan?
No. Well, no, I might as well go ahead and try and knock him off his horse. I suppose we'll go ahead and keep to that.
Don't think he can beat that, but let's see. I rolled a 17 plus. Nope, not gonna get there. So he is knocked off and prone. All right, it is your turn.
I want to stomp down on the prone guy.
Okay, he's right there. So with your size and everything, you just crush his undead skull with your hooves. Crunch.
And that's it for me.
All right, and then this white will try to hit Thorwald. This is my token. One of my tokens didn't work. Nope, this one. That will miss, and then he'll try the life drain, which will super miss. With a 6, I don't think... With a 6 and 3 hit points, I think I will just say that he goes up and he bumbles the attack, and Thorwald, you retaliate and you lop his head off with the flame sword, and he goes down.
Nice.
As you're getting a sense, the calm of this this disorienting scene is coming about. You're looking around, and you don't see any villagers. You don't see Lady Jolene, and that fog that has followed you into the town now, and is pretty much like right behind like this first row of buildings that you see here. It's hugged real close. From behind you, within the fog, which totally obscures your vision, you cannot see those rolling hills that you just came out of. But you hear a scream. A woman's scream sounds very similar to Jolene's, in some galloping hooves.
Can we?
And it's from which direction?
From
This
behind you.
direction?
From
Like
behind
here?
you. Yeah, like the way that you came.
Braunera, can you kind of run that way?
I can, yeah. I will start dashing that way.
And you all watch as Bralnera enters into that fog, and almost instantaneously you don't hear those hoof prints anymore. Almost like maybe she just stopped right as she was gaining momentum. It's very jarring.
Throw is on top of her, Alex, so I don't say anything.
I would do the well, I'm not going to dash, but I'm going to get my horse can move 40. So I get here as I gain momentum or whatever, but I will do a divine sense to see if I can pick up any undead fiends, anything otherworldly 60 feet out around me.
You don't. Your divine sense doesn't catch the scent of anything like that. And as you go up there to like kind of check it out, like the wall of mist like washes over Thorwald and Bareth. You don't see Donovan anymore. Like it was almost like the wall of fog oppressively is moving towards you and enveloping this town. And sort of regardless of what you choose to do next, at some point on all sides of you, it's going to envelop you. And we will take a bathroom break and see what happens. But I think you have a good sense of kind of what's happening. And so we are going down that road.
Very interesting.
So
not unexpected, I will say, Alex.
Yeah, I was trying to set you up to think you were going to do like a war thing with Ayaz a little bit, but that's maybe not 100% where we're going. We'll see. His name might come up. I don't know. So we'll take like a 5-10 bio break, and then when we come back, we will get acquainted with our new surroundings. So thanks for hanging out with us. We are 20 Sides to Every Story. If you're catching the stream here, you haven't watched us before, we would encourage you to come join our Discord server. These games we do recruit for, so you could find yourself playing in one of these games. So we do a lot of recruiting directly from the Discord, so check that out. All right, we will see you all in just a few. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on 20 Sides to Every Story. Probably not going to do a whole lot of recap here because we're just going to jump right into the situation. The group has just been enveloped by the mists. And as the mists recede and your awareness of where you are materializes, you feel the thick air breaks, dissipates, and all of you just suddenly... You're very disoriented, but you all see each other within 10 feet of one another, all together. On this sort of gravelly road, there's still heavy fog and mists that kind of cling to the perimeter, kind of maybe 10 feet off of this road, a tree line that kind of very sparse vegetation. All of it, though, wilted and withered. You look down, the soil appears to be very rich and fertile, but it doesn't seem that any of the plants are getting the nutrition that they need to be bright and vibrant. There's definitely heavy, overcast sky. It would appear that you are standing on this road. It is nightfall, and your ears are kind of getting adjusted to this silence that is, every once in a while, a faint echo from very far out, just like a tormented wail or cry. It almost serves as a lament of the danger that you are currently in. This doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like the lands where you just were. The trees are different. The smells are different. There's almost this just this tinge of rot on the air. And then you look in horror and you can see 30 feet in front of you, that red satchel is lying on the ground. Like the strap has been ripped. Perhaps a signal that Lady Jolene was just here maybe but moments ago.
I do not know where we are.
It doesn't really matter. We still have to find her.
We must find Lady Jolene. I will move my horse forward and lean down and use, because I have the Mace of Disruption still out, which it gives off light. I'll lean in my, from my saddle and use that to pick up her satchel.
As you go to lift it up or kind of hook it on there, you see a envelope that has a broken seal on it, kind of drops out of the satchel
onto the ground.
Yeah.
All right, I'll dismount and grab that as well. And seal's broken. I'm gonna read it.
All right. I will read this out loud and then I'll post it. I don't know. Maybe I'll post it in the Foundry. But it reads, "My dearest Jolene, with ink and quill in hand, I defy the tests of time to once again proclaim my undying love for you. It feels that many lifetimes have passed since we last laid eyes upon each other, and I yearn once more to feel your presence and radiance. I fear I may not have much longer in which this is possible. I write to you now with news that may sound unbelievable, for fate has played a cruel hand. I have escaped the clutches of a vile trap imposed upon me by Ayas, but now I am free, and my thoughts turn to you, my beloved. The shadow of my father's failing health led me to see him once more. Praise Rao for that. I traveled north from where I had been held prisoner within the depths of the ruins of the Temple of Elemental Evil. Now I am in Furiandi, though I cannot reveal myself. The public believes that I perished so many years ago after the Battle of Emerald Meadows. That is how I wish to be remembered. The succession crisis which threatens our lands would mark me a threat if I had merged at this moment. I cannot risk anything until I feel the solace of your warm embrace. Please, my love, if the passion of our love is still alive for you as it is for me, meet with me. The village of Millfield. Do you remember it? We had met there on occasion before our engagement. I am there now, and I stay at the inn. Once we are together, I will reveal the depths of my story. The road ahead may be treacherous, my love, but the thought of seeing you once more fills me with a renewed strength and purpose. Until we are reunited, keep me in your thoughts as I keep you in mine. Beacon of hope and love in the darkest of times. Yours eternally, Prince Thrommel.
I'll roll that back up, put it in the satchel, and turn to everybody, and I'll say it appears that she was there, that she was to meet Thrommel in Millfield.
That's what I feared.
He states that he has escaped the clutches of Eus, and I gather from his words that he is himself again.
I would need to see that to believe it.
As would I.
Well, this will have to wait until we can retrieve her. Anyway.
I will check the ground around here for any kind of tracks or whatever. Ask Rareth.
Sure.
He can as well. Bralnera too.
Survival.
Survival.
I will aid him. I'm sure he's far better at it than I am.
Is that a D4?
No, I think it's an advantage. I guess is what the mechanic is. If I
Sure,
help.
you can have advantage on it. So definitely there are hoof prints in the ground here, kind of leading to this spot, and then trailing off maybe 10 feet more, and then they disappear, like along the road, this like gravelly road.
Donovan, did you read the letter, or did you read it out loud to everybody?
I just read it, and then kind of gave a Cliff's Notes version or whatever. But I'll gladly hand it to whomever would like to read the letter itself.
I think I'm still an elk, so.
Oh,
Good.
I say we move forward.
Yep.
I would say that we just saw a Headless Horseman on a flying horse. It looks like he grabbed her up and flew away with her. The tracks just end.
You might be right.
Does searching the sky reveal anything to me?
It is night, overcast, and there isn't nothing like that burning horse that you can see that's illuminating the sky.
Yeah,
So
the burning horse was kind of what I was looking for, so thank you.
wants to move ahead a bit on the road, see if you can get your bearings. You move ahead, and pretty soon the fog and the mist sort of recedes into the front yard of what appears to have at one time maybe been a very respectable estate, but now this 2-story ancient building that stands before you is completely dilapidated. It's just a haunting visage of its former condition. The whole second floor just seems totally like the roof has fallen in, and like parts of the walls, like it's all brick, have like crumbled inward. The trees here in the front of the house are all barren. They reach towards the skies like skeletal hands clawing at the horizon. The windows of this house, all long shattered. Well, most of them are shattered. The oak doors that are at the precipice of the entranceway are all time worn and warped. There is a it looks like maybe there was like a cobblestone, like a perimeter fence or something at one time, but it's like completely rubble. But there is still a leaning sign that's flanking the pathway that leads up to the threshold of the house, which reads Van Richten House on sort of like a copper bronze plate.
Does that name mean anything to anyone?
If anybody wants to make a DC, I'll say like 22 history check.
I cannot make a 22.
Man, it's beyond my knowledge.
Well, it's time to go find them, Mr. von Richten, then.
My guess is this was his house. It does not look lived in. Go up, I suppose, approach the door, dismount.
From the window, maybe just here, you swear that you see a pair of blue eyes that are almost azure and like glowing, staring out at you. And as you approach, like quickly like duck or rescind inside the house, and sort of like a pitter-pattering of like bare feet on stonework kind of echoing through whatever it is, maybe going deeper into the house.
Well, we're about to find out.
So you approach the door.
Do you want to use the map now?
Now you're on this this portion of these doors. Look almost like swollen and splintered a bit, as if an axe has been like taken to it at some point. Various areas of the exterior of the house look like it has been like sort of vandalized. Like some of this isn't time worn, some of this is malicious.
Doesn't look like the Van Richtens were very well liked here.
Does it look,
No.
Alec, that we can open the door even though they're swollen?
You want to go and try to open it?
Yeah.
It's stuck. You would have to like really like give it some oomph.
Okay, so I'll just put all my weight into it.
All right, give me a strength check. And remember, you're at -1 because of that stress point.
Yeah, so I have to start telling you the tracking, but either way, it's a failure because I rolled a 4 on the die, so definitely failure.
All right. You just see Thorwald go kind of thump against the door, and it doesn't seem to budge. There's like a
Fall.
like groan from the house as you that just like booming voice, or like a very bass, I guess.
I guess the house didn't like it.
And from behind you, sounds very far off, but you start hearing howling,
Okay.
and like this call and answer kind of thing from probably a dozen over the course of the next 5 minutes. Stops.
Well, I guess it's time to try again. Didn't stay here with wolves coming. One at a time.
I'll assist.
Right? Advantage.
A strength or athletics?
It could be a strength athletics, yeah.
Definitely better, right? Come on, D&D Beyond.
Or if you see the number in D&D Beyond and you just want to report it to me, like I'm
Yeah, it's 25 minus 1, 24.
24.
Oh, coming out. Yep.
These doors seem impossibly impenetrable. The howls are getting closer.
All right, let's see if there's another way in.
As you're starting to feel the urgency, you start to move, it sounds like, or it looks like, just based on token movement, maybe heading towards the south. And I'll just tell you what you see here. This is like a wrought iron gate that seems to run the perimeter of something of like a pool that's like got clearly like algae and sludge just caked on the surface of this water. And there's some like furniture that's laid out. But as soon as you guys like leave the stairway here, these doors open.
Door with the personality.
Maybe we should have knocked.
Probably.
Maybe.
Hello?
There's a very house smell that escapes as soon as the doors are opened.
The Mace of Disruption, just so you know, Alex does have a 20-foot bright light, 20-foot dead.
Oh, good. I will get your token to have that on there. 20 and... So, with the aid of the Mace of Disruption there, kind of allowing you to see a little bit of the details of this room that you are stepping into. What you see is this entry foyer has a floor of black marble. It is covered by a dirty, tattered rug. To this north wall here and this west wall here, you can see there are portraits that hang on either side, figures in them that feel as if they are motionlessly leering out over the empty room. The one to the north depicts a man with short, gray hair, a beard, and glasses wearing a tweed jacket. The other, on the western wall, is a woman of maybe late middle age, very straight posture. Hair pulled back into a bun, and in very sharp analytical eyes that appear just over the top of a pair of crescent-shaped eyeglasses.
I guess this is the Richtens.
What's the plan here, friends?
I guess let's take a look at those portraits. If there's any like plaque or something describing it or anything near them.
No plaque. You get the sense that these are like like family portraits. Like this isn't it's a nice home, but it's not like a king or something. It has like lineage kinds of things where they have formal plaques, but the family, and so there's no writing or anything. As you're checking it out though, these doors snap shut.
Uh-oh.
Captured.
Yep.
Well, at least the wolves can't get in, so.
That's good.
I have good dark vision. Do you want me to scout ahead a little?
Why not?
I think that would be fine.
So walking up those stairs there, this is kind of like raised up. This platform here, maybe 2 feet from the ground level there. You can see a couch, and there's a little kind of coffee table, I guess, that's kind of pushed out of the way there. And there's like this porcelain doll, this like little boy that's sitting there. These really big blue eyes. To the north here, you can see there's a staircase that spirals. It seems to go up, and it seems to also go down. Kind of a corkscrew. The other notable thing here that you'd probably see is right here around the corner, right before the stairwell, there is like the statue of this like golden lion, big molded mane, and like both of its, oh no, got one arm that's like raised up like.
Did we all see the eyes in the window, or was that Donovan only that saw that?
We'll say all of you saw it.
Guys, you may want to come up here and check this out. I will point out the doll when they get up.
The doll has kind of like a little tri-corner hat and an overcoat. Maybe has sort of like it's unusually dressed, we'll say that. Like it's dressed that you're unfamiliar. But for players' sake, it's sort of almost like a sailor's outfit from like 1700s era feel.
I swear I think I've seen this doll before.
It's foreign to me.
Did you see the eyes in the window? Look at the doll's eyes.
In your head, Rareth, you hear, sometimes a doll is just a doll.
I'm not touching it.
Neither am I. What's up here?
This area over here. So that steps down. So it steps down kind of 2 feet and be back to like kind of ground level there. This looks like maybe it was like a tea room of some kind. There's a number of circular tables here, and they all have these like porcelain teacups and teapots on them. All of the furniture, chairs are thrown on the floor and very disheveled. There's a large chandelier that hangs right overhead of the room, and a hearth in the northwestern corner where there's another portrait that is hanging there over the mantel. And this one depicts a younger looking man with short hair and a beard with glasses, hair pulled back into a ponytail, and he's like holding like a tobacco pipe. He seems to be standing in a apple orchard. There's like it looks like he has chosen maybe the largest of the trees to be kind of posing for this painting that was made for.
Donovan, what about this statue right over here? Do you see that? What do you make of that?
Which one? Where is it?
It's right near the staircase. It's a statue of a lion with a raised paw.
That symbolize anything that I would recognize?
Nothing that you would be drawing a connection to, probably. If someone would like to make an investigation check while inspecting this statue.
It's not really my jam, but I'll kind of reach out and grab its paw. And
you grab at the upraised paw. Chink, it is like absolutely a lever. And Thorwald, as you pull it, Thorwald, you're still in this room over here.
Yeah.
You watch as this, like the wall there kind of secret that active.
Oh, good job, Donnie.
What happened?
You opened a secret door.
Where is it at?
Right over there.
And it seems to, as you peer in, it's just like a 5-foot by 10-foot little alcove that's empty.
Handy to hide your treasure, but it's empty.
I move in.
I will stand guard in a position where I can see both inside that room and everything outside here.
Okay.
And that's it, right?
That's it. That's the end. It's just the stone wall. Lots of cobwebs and dust have collected in this little alcove here. You can give me another investigation check while you're in there if you're kind of checking it out, poking at things.
Yeah. Wrapping my mace of disruption along the wall, see if I hear any difference.
It all pretty much sounds the same as you're wrapping your mace around there. And maybe as you stop wrapping on the mace, You all hear a thud sound coming from the foyer where you just came from.
Do I see anything?
You turn around and you look backwards and you can see the doll is on the floor.
But of course it is.
Seems to be empty.
The doll just jumped off of the table.
Ted is like perfectly positioned, staring right at you.
Okay, that's super creepy. I will. Thor will go there and try to pick it up.
Okay, you pick it up, and as you do, it's got those eyes that like move about as you like lay it down or whatever, but it's like doing the opposite. Like as you pick it up, it closes its like when it was laying down. Usually when it's laying down, that's when its eyes should be closed. It's doing the as you pick it up.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna hold on to this guy here. Make sure it doesn't do anything untoward. You guys continue investigating.
I'll move back over here and take that leg and put it back up. Does that door close?
It does. Everybody in the room, so Rarith and Brelnera, Thorwald, you might be a little preoccupied, but the other two make perception checks. So both of you here, as Donovan goes to like activate the lever, so the one door closes, but you hear it sounds like a second door in that compartment has moved. Like there's a second sound that's more than just the door that closed. And then you all hear Thorwald.
Oh, shit.
Like the doll's mouth like opened and like emitted a sound.
What the hell?
I told you not to touch that thing.
Well, you'd rather be on the ground with those eyes looking at you.
You should have touched it with your sword.
I don't think my sword can carry this.
I think he's saying should have lit it on fire.
Oh.
There you go.
No.
You guys are metaphorical. I think that this guy wants to be held. I think that's what's going on here.
Yes.
See? Okay. How about you come with us? If you behave, we're gonna be good to you. Okay?
No.
Okay. Then hanging down from his leg says, "You have to learn manners here, buddy. Manners."
As you do that, you hear a ton of noise come from over by the hearth. Like it just sounds like objects are dropping over there, like do 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 do. And those of you that turn to like look at it, it's like sort of improbable, but all of the apples that are depicted in the trees are dropping off of their trees and like rolling. Like it just looks like oil paint, kind of like rolling forward. But as it seems to hit some kind of like imaginary barrier, they manifest as actual objects. All these apples are dropping onto the floor.
From the portrait of the guy with the apple tree?
Yep.
Thorwald, don't do that anymore, please.
Put it up. Okay. You know what? Let me make a deal. You don't
No,
need to be good.
no, do not make no more deals.
This is all very bad. This is all very bad.
It's gonna be a limited deal, like a limited partnership. You don't have to behave, but you still gonna be a relatively good boy.
No.
Do you have a name?
It doesn't respond.
Can I call you Robert?
Quiet.
Thorwald, you ask those questions.
By the way, why does he know my name?
Thorwald, ask Rarith's question. See if it answers.
What's your name, my dear friend?
It ceases responding.
Yeah, he doesn't want to talk anymore. Okay, you come with me no matter what, even if you're not talking. I'm putting back here on my shoulder, like, sort of carrying it like that.
Okay.
And guys, what's stairs or check over here?
Well, I'd like to check out the door again, and I'll pull the arm down.
All right. Secret door opens.
I'll go inside and then you pull the arm again.
Correct.
So from within the little cubby or
that's closed.
hideaway there. Oh, sorry. That was So Brelnera is going in there too? Like you're both going in there? Okay.
Yep.
So you're both in there. Door closes behind you. And then Rarith and Brelnera, you're in there. And you see this door here open up. There seems to be something of a hallway there. 2 wooden doors. One to the south here. and then one further to the east. So Rarith and Valnera, what are you guys up?
Dealer's choice, Rareth.
Do we really want to split up?
I think we have to.
Let's go to the south.
All right.
All right, you go and you open up this door.
I'm going to listen before I open.
You don't hear anything.
Okay.
Opening it up, seems to look into a old bedroom. You can see very simple looking bed that stands in the southwest corner. It's covered by what appear to be good quality quilts, but they are old, heavy layer of kind of dust on everything in this room. And there are some
So it hasn't been used in a while.
that's your guess. There's books and tomes that are laid out on the floor right here, amidst several bottles of empty wine, and even some bookshelves that seem to hold a number of books. Little desk in the corner over here.
Just quickly looking at the books, do they have titles on them? And is it in a language I'd recognize?
Yes. So many of them are like Van Richten's Guide to Fiends, or Van Richten's Guide to Vampires, or Van Richten's Guide to... Also, whoever this Van Richten guy is, he's some kind of author because he's penned probably at least a dozen of the books that are here on the shelves. Those are the books on the shelves. And they're intermixed with other things, like there's like the complete history of Barovia. There's another book that is like mostly histories, maybe some books about kind of really weird religions that you've never heard of before. But as far as the books that are on the ground, the ones that are laid open all seem to be like genealogical records or family histories that are penned in ink, like handwritten, like informally organized, I guess is what.
Do I recognize any names?
Lots of Van Richten. One of the books maybe that's like laid open that you spot as you're looking around is maybe you get the sense just looking through it, and there's some kind of passable pictures that like someone who's not a trained artist attempted to. It looks like draw this estate, like draw this house in its glory days, like when it was maybe first built. And just a quick glance at like some of the pages that were like open seem to detail a Friedrich Van Richten, who apparently is the one that built the house.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab the book that you were just describing and the book about vampires.
Okay.
Go ahead and shove them in my pack. Anything else you see in here that we may be interested in?
It'd take a long time for us to read them.
Yeah, that's why I just grabbed the two, the one about the vampires and the one about the house.
Is there a map of the house?
I would have to go through it a little bit better, but
Yeah, you know what? We'll say you're flipping through kind of those first couple of pages right where you were at. There's sort of kind of rough architectural kind of like the construction blueprints kind of are charted in there. So second floor, definitely lots of. That's what it seems like the bedrooms and the servants' quarters were the floor that you're on, and there's a wine cellar, it would seem. Actually, you know what? There's also another map, maybe? I'm going to have to take you off this map for just a second, but we'll say that you see this chart in there, which seems to be an image of not the house, but the grounds. So there is a, right in the middle, ignore, any of these little DM notes on here, but the house is like central to the property. Seems like there's a lake to the north. And this is all densely forested with a trail that kind of meanders. And there is a cemetery up here and an apple orchard over here. Do you guys see this map? Is it visible?
yes.
It is. Okay.
It is.
And on the the map of the inside of the house, is this room, this little area that we're in, is it on the map?
Yes.
Okay, so it wasn't hidden from the map maker.
Yeah, right.
Seems like the map maker was the one that built the house.
Let's switch back over to what's going on with Donovan and Thorwald. So, Thorwald, would you say you're standing about where you are right there?
Yeah, just in case I have my sword out just for light because, Donnie's in the other room. So he has his own source of light and mine.
You can see the hearth starts to flare up here, and there is kind of a light or a glow. And that portrait, the man in the portrait looks pained, and there's like this red stain that is starting to form in his chest, and the paint is like dripping, oozing down the canvas onto the stonework of the hearth and onto the floor. This like kind of mound of apples. They're all very rapidly rotting and turning black.
That is super weird, Donnie. I'm gonna come right where you are.
Make me a wisdom saving throw before
Oh.
you.
Okay. Wisdom saving throw coming, and we're gonna detract 1 from what I rolled because I am stressed. So the result is a whopping 10.
You do have a player reroll.
I will take it because I get it from your tone that this is not gonna be pleasant.
Never good.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are not frightened. You avoid taking another point of.
Donnie, I'm staying right next to you. This house gives me the creeps.
It gives me the creeps too.
Do you think they're okay?
I've been praying this whole time.
Okay.
There's no way to know.
So we'll.
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to ask him what he saw down this other direction. I saw stairs, but I
Yeah,
hadn't looked.
I wasn't paying attention, I'll be honest with you. Like, this
Okay.
place gives me the creeps. Like,
You want to go take a look?
the rhetorical question? No.
Okay, you could leave that alone. Would you like to go in the basement? That's always good.
Yes.
Go to the basement.
I think we need to just wait here until we hear that they've returned. I would hate to step away and have them be trapped in wherever it is that they are.
We'll flip back over then to Rarith and Bralnera. So you've kind of looked at the books and such and taken what you found interesting. What would you like to do next? Open up that door?
Sure.
Well, no. Before we open up that door, I want to go back and look and see if there's any kind of mechanism to open this other door that we came through from this side of the door.
No.
Okay, then I guess we'll open this door.
You open up this door, and it sort of feels a bit like a, I don't know, like a target practice or something. There's a couple of mannequins on the southern end that are all charred black, and there is something of like a kind of, I don't know, it looks kind of like a bamboo mat here in the center, and then wooden door over here, and then over here there's like, it's like a kind of like a little box or like a wooden platform. It's like a raised wooden platform that would act as like a step stool to get to this door that's like in the wall, but it's up 2 feet off the ground.
Is that raised door anything that I might have ever seen construction like that before? Or is it pretty unusual?
It seems unusual in the fact that they didn't build like proper stairs to lead up to it.
What do you want to do?
I'd stay off the mat. I'm thinking south door.
That one?
Yeah.
Opening that door, you open it, and the walls of this room are badly burned. Ash and rubble that litters across the floor. You kind of see the husks of old burned out books that seem to be like the perimeter of this room looks like it was at one time a library that like went up in flames. Everything is blackened and charred, and there's still like maybe a little bit of a scent of like, I don't know, like flame, or not exactly sulfur, but just like that something had burned. There's smoke, like lingering smoke in this room. But there is, it looks like there's like a cloak or something on the floor over here that does not appear.
I will investigate it.
As you move forward to investigate it, it will come alive. Ain't that big. But it comes alive and flaps, and suddenly you see this like terrible looking visage, this face that is ringed with teeth, leaps up and tries to envelop you. And that will miss. And then it's got this like barbed tail that whips out,
That'll hit.
dealing 8 slashing damage. And we will have the two of you and the cloaker roll initiative. I'm just gonna write it down, I guess. 8 for Rarith and a 6 from Bralnera. Cloaker will, he doesn't do much better. He gets a 5, so you guys still beat it in initiative. So Rarith, you're up first. What would you like to do? This thing is just kind of like flapping now. Like it's in the air and flapping about.
Still within 5 feet of me, though.
Yeah, just over your head. So it's in within 5 feet.
I am going to pull out a scimitar, swing at it,
Okay.
and miss.
All right.
I will try again for 4 points of slashing damage.
All right. That will bring us to Brelnera.
Brelner will run out of the room just 5 feet and then charge the cloak. You have rerolls?
Oh, you're still a giant elk moving about in here?
Uh-huh. Is that okay? If I can't be, then I would do something else.
I will say you can, but I'm going to impose that you're at disadvantage on like attack rolls and things like that while you're inside the house, just because like the structure is awkward.
Okay, I will use a reroll on that attack.
Sounds good. 16 will hit.
He will take... Did it do the damage?
It shows
10?
10.
Shows 10.
10. And then 2d6 for the charge.
All right. Anything else, Brelnera?
Nope.
The cloaker starts to kind of dive bomb you, Rareth. Does a 17 hit?
It does.
Okay, you take 10 piercing damage, and it attaches. And so now it is draped over you. You're blinded. You're unable to breathe. You can feel you're starting to suffocate. And then its tail is going to whip around and try to attack the giant elk, which will miss. Rareth, it is you.
I'm going to punch at it. Try to tear it off of me.
Try to tear it off you. Okay, strength check.
Straight strength.
Straight strength, yep. That does not seem to work. It doesn't seem to want to let up. And anything else, Rareth?
That's pretty much all that I can do, I think. Well,
Yeah.
Does that count as an attack?
That's your action,
Okay. Yeah, so
Valnera.
I'm guessing if I kick it, it's going to hit Rareth too?
That seems
Likely.
like you didn't have time to stop and read Van Richten's Guide to Monstrosities.
Yeah, that'd be great. All right, I will drop my form, and I am going to cast Blight on the blanket.
All right. What do I need to do? Con save?
Yeah, con save.
It will fail. So 40?
Takes 40 damage.
All right. Rareth, you take 20 necrotic damage. Some of this damage is transferred to you. Anything else, Brelnera?
I know that's action.
Right. The cloaker will attack Rareth. Oh, a 20 and a 1 of advantage on this one. Okay.
20 definitely is a critical hit.
Okay. So it's going to be 16 piercing damage. And then the tail is going to try to attack the giant elk.
I'm Brelner now.
Oh, you're Brelnera now. Okay. 15 to hit.
That'll miss.
And then it is
Try to get it off of me again. And fell.
and fail. Brelnera.
Did the blight seem to do any damage to it?
You can see a little bit of like a wound on the flesh of the cloaker, just not like the impact that you normally see when you cast that.
And can I see Rareth?
You can see his legs draped from underneath this almost like manta ray like creature.
Well, you can't use your bow, so I'll cast Polymorph on Rareth, and I will make him a giant ape.
Now you are a giant ape, Rareth, with this thing still draped over you and still has you held, but you might have a little bit more strength to boost you up. The cloaker still trying to bite at Rareth, even in the giant ape form. A 22 to hit, and it'll do 10 points of piercing damage to the ape, and then
How many points?
10 points. And then it will attack with the tail on Brelnera, a 24 to hit,
It hits.
7 slashing damage.
So if you're really closely paying attention, you'll see that my legs go limp, but then they tighten back up again.
Did you hear that you got turned into a giant ape?
Does that do anything for my armor class?
No, it turns you into a giant ape.
Yeah, so you'd have the hit points of a giant ape. Like you'd be at full,
Oh, okay.
kind of like a wild shape, I guess. Like you'll have a full reservoir of those hit points to kind of soak. So yeah, if you just look on like D&D Beyond or whatever you're using, you'd probably be able to find a giant ape. All right. Yeah, so the cloaker had just taken its turn, attacked you as a giant ape. Then Rareth, it is your turn.
Give me just 1 second.
Sure. Maybe while you're looking that up, I'm going to flip back over to where Donovan and Thorwald are at and see what you guys are.
Would we be aware there is commotion happening, or it's too far?
I think it's probably too far for you to like have a clear understanding. But it's been a bit since you saw them. Maybe it's been about 10 minutes or so.
Oh, Donnie, do you think I go in and you stay here, or vice versa?
I mean, either one. Just do a double check. I hate to leave, everybody not with a buddy. Just kind of, I mean, if one of us goes in there and the other one, disappears
True.
or something happens, then there's no way to get out of there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. Then I guess we have to trust them.
We'll flip back over, and Rarith, it's your turn.
Okay, I am once again going to try to
Rip
get
it
this
off.
thing off of me. Yeah.
Sounds good. Now you got the power of the giant ape. Fortunately, the 13 isn't quite there. Bralnera.
Wait, he didn't break loose?
Nope.
How is that possible?
Need a 16.
I'm gonna step back so it can take an attack of an opportunity.
You haven't exited. If you just move back 5 feet, it's a 10-foot.
Why isn't it letting me move? I'm gonna step back out of the room.
Okay. You're going out of the room, then he will get in. I was having too much fun rolling my dice. An 18 to hit
That hits.
for 7 points. Probably Proxicon concentration check, I guess.
All right.
Oh, okay, that's good. Still a giant ape.
And I am going to thorn whip the cloaker.
Sounds good. That'll hit. Detach. I imagine you're pulling it off of Rarith, and so
Yeah.
Rarith, you are
Yeah.
freed. 7 points of damage to the cloak. All right. The cloaker will attack Rarith. First with the bite. 15 to hit.
If I'm reading this correctly, my armor class as giant ape is 12.
12.
Uh-huh.
It will deal 7 points of piercing damage. What size are you as a giant ape? Large?
Huge.
Huge.
Huge. Okay. It does not attach to you. And tail attack. Yes. Rarith, it is your turn.
I will make 2 fist attacks
The 25 hits.
for 16 points of damage.
16 points. Okay. Kind of grab at the tail and kind of rip, and you can feel it like its tissues kind of stretching and it wails in pain, but manages to kind of escape your grasp. It's still up. Thrown there.
I'll do the thorn whip again.
Okay. Hits. And are you trying to move it?
No, I
Okay.
won't move it. It's fine where it is.
All right. It will, on its turn, move to here. Try to hit you with its tail, Bralnera. 27 points. Concentration check.
Wah, wah.
There is one reroll if you want it.
Yeah, sure, I'll do the...
And maintains. It will try to bite the giant ape. A 19 to hit.
Hit.
10 points of damage. Rarith, it is your turn.
2 more fists coming.
And you rip this thing apart as you finally grab both ends of it and just tear it into 2 pieces. Body drops to the ground, and you are out of initiative.
I'll drop the ape.
Sounds good.
Yeah, if we were outside, I would say leave it on, but
Yeah, I don't think you're getting out of that room being that big.
You are very right. So the combat is over. What do you guys do next?
You're looking pretty beat up.
very.
You know how to heal yourself?
I could drink a potion, yeah.
Sure. I got a couple if you want them.
Okay, so you guys are going to probably pound some healing potions and such. What would you do after that?
Well, should we go back and check in with the guys, see if they're still alive?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Sounds good. So is it reasonable to say, Thorwald and Donovan, that at some point you would just instinctually open this door and kind of check in on them to like get them through? So we'll kind of move past all of that business and like you guys all reconvene back in the tea room here.
What did you guys find?
Rareth thought he got a new cloak, but it decided to try and eat him.
So it wasn't like Humboldt's new cloak, fancy that opens up and lets him fly. No, not that one.
No.
Not that one.
It
No
did
flying
fly,
for him.
yes.
Rare, you look really worn for wear. You want a potion or something?
Well, I had one, and I did go ahead and cast a little healing spell on myself, but I'm still only
Yeah.
about a third
Drink-
of...
Drink this one, buddy. You need it, and it's over a regular potion. Still bad? I have another one if you need.
Were you healing?
Yeah, I drank one myself.
Okay.
Oh,
How are
sorry,
you?
brother.
How are you, Brownera? On hit
I'm
points?
fine.
You're fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's all good.
All right. So what are you thinking you want to do?
Rarith,
Yeah.
were you good now?
Not even close.
Not even
Okay.
close. 20.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lay on hands 20 points.
I'm feeling much better now.
You still not full?
No,
Okay, here's another potion. Drink another potion, buddy.
I have another. I have another. You hold yours.
I really don't need them. It's for people.
Points.
All right, that's close enough.
Okay, guys, the way I see it, we got two options. Three, really. We continue exploring here. We go down, we go up. Well, then I guess that we have four. No, it's three because the doors are barred, so I don't think we can get out.
I'll pull one of the options off the table. I'll just tell you, going upstairs, like you'd go up there and you'd be like, "There's no way in hell we're gonna like monkey around up here because it's so unstable. It doesn't seem to be
Oh.
anything usable." We'll take that off the table.
Okay, that's good.
Well, as I've got healed back up, I'm kind of looking around and I see something down this way.
What you see down there, in just the area just to the south of you, is what appears to be a dining room, and there's a tablecloth over it. There's some chairs and such that are kind of moved about. It doesn't seem to be very well presentable, but there are place settings out. There's plates and wine goblets and cutlery and such. All seems above board until like you start to look and you're noticing that at some of the place settings, there's like a knife moving or a sawing at invisible food or a goblet that's like pantomime. You don't see any forms. There's no images or anything that you see, just these objects that are moving about, almost as if there are things standing there. And I don't know if there's some vision or there's double doors here that are closed, so there wouldn't be anything you'd be able to see beyond that.
Well, let's move down and check that out.
There was one more room in this secret passage that we never got to. I thought I'd bring Rareth back and maybe bring somebody a little more beefy with me.
Do you think that's something there we need to find?
Yeah, did you guys find anything besides?
Some books.
Oh, books?
I've got a book that has a map of this house
Oh, that could be handy.
and a book about vampires.
That could be handy too.
I'll bring the books out. We'll look at the books.
So we got a map of this place, a map of the area around this place,
And a book on vampires.
and a book of vampires.
Oh, and Thrommel, can I see the doll?
Sure,
Eyes are still closed.
So creepy.
Are you mad at him?
I am. No.
Oh, I'm talking to the doll.
Oh,
No response.
I know he was kind of a jerk towards you.
I wasn't.
No response.
I'll be leafing through the vampire book while this is happening.
I mean, all of the meta knowledge that you need to have your character have about vampires, you know how the stat block works.
I will take a step down here and see if I can, if these are, specters or if they're just animated cutlery or something.
All of the knives, forks, glassware, all comes hurtling towards you as you move into that room.
All right. Shield up.
Make a dexterity saving.
All right. Shield Master is my friend. Remember how this works. I get a +2 to my dex saving throw, and I basically have evasion. So 13 would be what?
13. Okay. Evasion is you take half, right? On a failure.
Correct.
So you'll take, this is the real number, 30 piercing damage from all of these objects striking at you. Some of them don't land, you block some of them, but they're pernicious and they like kind of curve around. They're murderous and like knives are just jamming into like the weak points in your armor and such.
Okay. And that 30 is half or 15?
30 is half, yeah.
Holy shit.
So you're going to get a stress point, and the seed of fear that you get for this may never come up, but it's high-class dining and like etiquette situations like this.
Okay. High class dining.
But you will
Actually
you will have the
come up.
mind. What's that?
It will come up. I mean, he's a Viver Lord, so
That's right. We
every
have to
time
have
you...
dinner with the vampire. So yeah.
Right.
But so then you'll have the 1 point of stress, so it's -1 to your attacks and saving throws and ability checks. So that goes. But the source of your fear, if that ever you interact with that, you could get more stress. Those double doors, there's just like a feeling that you have that there's something beyond them, or maybe a place of respite. You're not sure, but you're starting to feel called to them.
Seems like the house is trying to kill us.
Yeah, but we're gonna prevail and find Jolene and save her. Have faith. And with that, he will move to the doors.
All right. So you open the doors, and it opens up into a large room where there's a warm light that appears to be coming from a fire in a hearth. There's a chandelier that hangs from the high ceiling, and it sort of feels like this room maybe was once a dance parlor or a ballroom of some kind, like small scale. There are large glass folding door that faces what seems to be that pool down to the south. I'll just open these. They're glass. You can see through it. You can see that algae pool out there that you saw from the outside. And as you turn the corner, you can see on the western side of the room is a large hearth, and there is a stuffed chair where a man is sitting. Sleek black hair hangs about shoulder length, and he has a face that has very angular features. He stands, as you notice, there is a hunting trophy over the mantle, and there's like a raven perched there. It kind of squawks out as the door opens. Seems to alert the man, and he stands. You can see he wears a long overcoat threaded with sort of this golden design. He's got a scarf that's loosened, draped over his shoulders, and there's a chain that hangs around his neck that bears a tiny, almost looks like a draconic skull on a chain. It would appear that prior to you moving into the room, he had been hunched over and looking at an object that's on the floor. It appears to be a wooden board that's decorated with various letters and numbers, a couple of words laid out on it, and there's a small triangular planchette, sort of heart-shaped, with a piece of crystal in its center. It almost seems like it's like magnifying, like right now it's placed on the word yes. And you got that squawking bird. He stands to attention. He looks at you, Thorvald, and he says, "Well, I knew that this place had its reputation, but to be honest, I wasn't expecting visitors this evening."
Well, we were not expecting to be here this evening, but as chances would have it, we are. And we're looking for someone. Sorry to disturb you. Oh, my name is Storwald, and I don't know if this is your house, and if it is, I'm sorry we're intruding upon you.
No. I am an intruder in this place like yourself. My name is Firin. It's very nice to meet you. Are you also a paranormal investigator? Have you come here to learn the secrets of this place? Speak with the ghosts? The deceased?
Can't say that I am, but we're looking for a nice lady that was spirited away by a dude without a head riding a flaming horse. I know that sounds crazy, but trust me, it's the truth.
Nothing about it is crazy, my friend. These are crazy times that we are living in. No, I have not seen such phenomenon yet. Frankly, my evening has been quite boring. Maybe your presence here is welcome. Come. There's more of you. You speak of a group?
Yeah. They're over here. Hey, guys, come over. There's a nice guy here.
No. Come, warm yourselves by the fire. It is a cold, clammy night. You cast Divine Sense.
Yeah, just do Divine Sense as I move into the room.
The bird is... what would it be? Fiendish? But that is all.
I'd say to him, "Is that your bird?"
Yes, well, my familiar. Skeever, that's a skeever. You say you have come here looking for a woman?
Yes.
You have reason to believe that she came through here or came by here?
No, but that's kind of the only place where we went when she disappeared in the Missed. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but point being, so there was this attack. She was kidnapped. Then this mist came about. We run into it, and here we are. So perhaps there's a link.
Perhaps. I'll be honest with you. I haven't had much luck with these spirits. This house. It was talking with me a bit, but it has gone quiet. Perhaps
Have you tried?
it would welcome new conversation partners. Perhaps it
tried-
might know something about your missing friend.
Oh, you know
I
what
have
we
a
got?
question.
Oh.
Where are we?
This is Van Richten House. Once belonged to Dr. Van
Thank-
Richten, notable monster hunter, vampire slayer.
I think you misunderstand my question. What land are we in?
You come from the mists. Yes, of course. Makes sense. Based on your dress, you're out of place a bit here. This land is called Darkon. I'm afraid you've come to a land in great peril. This land is falling apart. Part of why I have come here, to commune with these spirits, to see what they might know. Our towns and our communities are vanishing. The roads have begun to lead to nowhere. The dead are rising from their graves. We have always known of the existence of dark gods, dark powers, things not to be spoken of, things to be worshipped. There are things not to be worshipped, things to be feared. But I believe that they have come to want to reabsorb this place. For some reason, I aim to find out why. But perhaps I have come on too strong with these spirits. They don't seem to want to answer my questions. Perhaps, maybe something more accessible for them, like your missing friend, might get them talking. What do you say? I can guide you through the process.
Did you shake the house like he shook the doll? It quit talking when he shook it.
No, I'm afraid. I think it is more my line of questioning that got it to become silent. I can feel it. This house wants something. I just haven't put my finger on it.
Did you see
From what, I've,
the?
s-
Go on, right.
from what I've seen so far, it wants us dead.
Could be.
Did
Don't
you
know.
see the? Did you see the pictures? There is this guy. Is it from Richten himself?
Yes, Dr.
Spending,
Rudolf Van Richten and his wife, not his wife.
but no, I'm talking about the other one. The one where the other young folk with the something on his eyes, standing under a very big apple tree.
Yes, Dr. Van Richten's son, Erasmus.
Erasmus.
You know anything about Headless Horseman?
I know to stay away if I see one. Not an unusual phenomenon, I'm afraid. Luckily, you came upon this place. If you think this house is terrible, even worse to be out on the road at night.
Well, in the absence of anything better to do, how about we ask the spirits about where is Lady Jolene?
All right, let us work up to it. And he kind of like kneels down. He like kind of maybe gestures to you, Thorwald. Kind of gestures for you to kneel down with him around this little board. It's basically kind of, a Ouija board, spirit board looking kind of thing with the array of letters and numbers and such, and there's a yes and a no, maybe a couple other words on there. He gestures for you to put your hands on the little planchette, just like he is. He rests a hand like on it as well. He says, "Spirits of this house, I have with me strangers who have come openly and without malice. They beg of your guidance. We seek to know your stories, help you find peace. We entreat you. Make your presence known." And for a moment, you're just thinking, like, there's no way, like, anything's going to happen. Like, not, it's just, nothing's happening. But then there's, like, this cold wind that gushes through the room. There's no open window or anything, but it blows at that fireplace, and, like, the fire is struggling to stay lit. He says, "Oh, we'll take that. That it is here. It is listening.
Oh.
Who are we speaking to?" And the little object starts to move about until it spells out a name. Dr. Ingrid Van Richten. And then it it kind of like he steps aside, and he's gonna let you take over Thorwald.
Me? So, uh, Dr. Ingrid, my name is Thorwald. I do not know these lands. I do not know you or your house. But if you would have me do something for you, then perhaps you can do something for me. In other words, if you would be amenable to helping each other. Yes or no?
It moves. The little thing just gradually starts to pull towards yes. And stops. And then it starts to move again. And it spells out. It goes to the F, and then the I, then the R, and it just keeps going until it spells out first, free him, gnarled lad. I'll put this in the boundary.
Do you guys would know what any of that means? I mean, who's the gnarled lad?
I'm gonna step away for 1 second while you.
Maybe it's Robert. Do you think it might be Robert?
Oh, the doll?
He didn't say I couldn't call him Robert, so
Okay, so I will put I will put the doll down on the ground so his eyes can be open again.
You think it's the doll? I think it's the picture of the kid in the orchard. This is the mom, right?
Could be the mom, yeah.
maybe the apple tree has him.
Trees are gnarled.
Alex, just in case I take the doll from my shoulder and put it back on the ground, in case that's what she's talking about. We don't think so, but
The doll's eyes do not open.
oh. So I guess it's not him. Gnarled lad. Is
Ask about
he?
the apple tree.
Yeah, is he in this house right now?
No.
Is he in the apple orchard?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I guess we have our mission, guys. You have to free the gnarled lad from the apple orchard.
As-
Ask how we free him.
Okay, I will ask that. I mean, I don't think she's gonna respond. I will. She could. Yeah.
no, the planchette does not move at that point.
Okay.
And Fearin stand like as you say you're gonna go out to the apple orchard. He's like, you're gonna go out to the apple orchard at this hour?
Bad idea.
I mean, you got the spirit talking. Could be dangerous.
Well, danger is just kind of my profession. On the other hand, talking to unseen ghosts, it's not.
Maybe we should rest until morning.
Well, that sounds like a great idea, except for the fact that Lady Jolene is nowhere to be found. And I'm a little bit apprehensive about that part.
Yeah, we could certainly go take a look. If we find that it's too much, then we could come back.
All right. So basically, this is probably where we're going to end this session, is on this choice. So the choice is, I think we've selected you're going to go to the apple orchards where you want to go. And then the choice is, are you going to rest or not rest before?
Sounds like no rest.
Okay.
Yeah, I think time is most important here. If this will help us get Lady Jolene back, so
Oh, I have a question. Are we getting tired?
I mean, yeah, you guys are probably pushing exhaustion at this point. I mean, you traveled all day to get to the hamlet, and then you got dragged into this world. And you've been wandering, and you're just fatigued, like you're stressed, and that's contributing to things too. So definitely tired, but the valid concern that Jolene is out there somewhere, and how much time does she have? So, it sounds like a valid thing. Keeping the, don't rest your characters. Rests are going to be very important in this campaign, so we just have to keep track of resources and everything, because that part will matter, your abilities and things. So we will begin the next session with you guys going out to the apple orchard, pick up play there. So
Awesome.
our next game will be in 2 weeks. We'll be playing on Friday the 28th. So that's kind of the cycle that this one will be on, is every other week we will pick up and do a session. Awesome. Well, thanks guys for playing in this first one of the kind of wrap-up campaign for Temple of Elemental Evil. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to join us and get connected with games like this to play in yourself, just jump into our Discord server. We'd love to have you there. One more game tomorrow morning. You can catch us here 10 a.m. Central. We'll be playing some X-Crawl with Brendan LaSalle, the creator of X-Crawl Classics, and should be a good time. So hope to see you then. Any last thoughts? I don't know. Anything from the players here while I stumble around trying to find someone to raid?
Well, you definitely surprised me, Alex, tonight. So I had no idea this would be this session. So awesome job.
same here. Fun.
I found out that being a giant ape is a lot of fun.
It is pretty fun.
You should try a T-Rex.
Yeah, I don't have many people here on my list, so it's going to be an 80s dance party night. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you all next time.
Thanks, chat.
Especially you, Ike.